I'm so sick and tired of hearing this bullshit. Like, either take us over or don't. Go away.
You guys have a lot of money now to buy players. I've
Haven't
heard
been
like
taken over yet.
Sancho is gonna come to Newcastle.
Mate, I've heard Mbappe's gonna come to Newcastle. I've heard Messi's gonna come to Newcastle. I've heard Dybala's. I've heard everything at this point. So I'm still sitting there going, we've still got Mike Ashley as our fucking manager. Of course. What are you thinking about?
Messi had never come to Newcastle. HMRC had been meeting him at the airport.
Okay then. So, should we begin the second innings?
Yep.
Okay, we're here on day 2 of the test match. This is Sunday the 19th of April, and we've got James Tamplin as neutral commentator, and we've got both the captains, Rob Jordan.
Hello.
And Samir Rana for the Wolves.
Hello. Hello guys, I know it's just me and James watching the broadcast yet.
I should be watching the broadcast.
Well, we're up to 5.
Yeah, I've just sent across a link. We've just finished talking about Lionel Messi's return to Newcastle. And what we want to see right now is we want to see the summary of the game so far. So Merton Wolves are playing a test match versus Merton Rhinos. Merton Wolves being captained by Samir, Merton Rhinos being captained by Rob. We played the first innings of both the teams yesterday. The Wolves batted first and scored 283 runs. Raj Chandra top scoring with 88, with 4 wickets each for Craig Bull and James Preble. The Rhinos then came into bat and they scored 353, which means they have a lead of 70 runs. James Tamplin himself top scoring with 78, and Jack Ayling with 77. And as for the bowlers, Samir Rana, he spread his bowling around with many bowlers, but Samir and Sachin both picked up 2 wickets each. So we're going to pick it up right now from the first ball of the second innings. Sahir and Taha are going to open the batting for Merton, with Matt Kidd opening the bowling. And
So
how we're going to start...
I can't change the batting order.
You can actually. So what we're going to do right now is you can change everyone after the opening 2 batsmen. So we're going to start by giving Samir the chance to change his batting order right now.
Okay. Can I have Gokul as 1 down?
Yeah. Gokul did get out for 0, remember?
Yeah, the chat yesterday was he had faith in Gokul, thinking that he might come in early, give him a chance.
And then
It's all gone awry.
I'll follow Gokul.
Okay. Go on, tell me your whole lineup.
So it's Gokul, then me, and then Arjun.
Guys, just from the production booth, if you've got the coverage on in the background, do you want to just whack the volume down slightly?
And I'll swap Aniket and Melvin.
Greg, so I've just I've got to come in because I've got a player on my team talking smack, but still has not given us a duck walk. So he's not allowed to go after anyone until he gives me that duck walk.
Yes, his banter pass has been revoked. I'm not entirely sure who gave him a banter pass to start with. It's never been that good.
Can you swap Aniket and Gopal? That's the only change.
Aniket and Gopal. Yeah. And then you want Sachin after Gopal and Melvin after that.
Sachin before Gopal.
It better be Greg.
Okay. So you guys can see the comments on the side. I wonder why Greg says quack quack Samir, because I think Samir made some runs yesterday. Greg in fact scored 0. We had 3 ducks. It was Greg. Who else was it? Greg, Gokul, and
to me, basically. He's reporting his duck to me.
Matt Kidd as well?
Matt Kidd.
He's
Okay,
predicting his score for second innings, I think.
Where is Matt Kidd? We haven't seen Matt Kidd. Is he around? I haven't heard from him in the last, I guess, few weeks. Maybe he has no internet. Okay, are you good with this lineup, Samir? I'm not going to change it very often then. Then we shall commence. We'll give a quick chance to Rob if Rob wants to change anything. Do you want to change anything, Rob? Or are you happy with Matt and Tom?
Happy with my opening pair. I think Matt and Tom are good way to start.
Good boy.
Give you the confidence that that only Tom Allen can give a batsman. Just have it undercut by Matt Kidd. It's a very good opening pair.
Rob, how do you feel one of your players has predicted his score for today?
To be honest, I would be surprised if we need Greg Gunnar-Warden at the bat today. Very confident in my opening pair to chase down the 200 you're going to set us.
Samir, do you think you're going to score more than 200, or what do you think is actually a defendable score in this fourth innings for
I think we need at least lead of 350 in order to win the game.
Oh, so you need to make more than 400, that means.
Yeah. For a chance to win, I think.
Oh, Australian scoring system. Merton 0 for 4.
Oh, 4 wickets down already. It's beautiful bowling.
So Samir, if you had the choice, would you have continued opening the batting with Sahir and Taha?
Yeah, I don't mind. I would just have had Gokul open the batting with Taha if I had a chance to change. But as Rob said yesterday as well, players don't listen to the captains anymore.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of an issue with the there's been a bit of an issue with mutinies in the camps, really.
That's a bit of an expensive over.
So the end of the first over, that's a good over, 6 runs off it. I want to see if we could have a quick look at, can we see anywhere what the weather is like? Yes, we can see over here, it's day 2, 18 degrees, so a bit chilly.
That's summer in UK.
No, it is actually. You can see Taha's statistics over there. Taha, the highest score of 45, not out. Tom Allen, he was expensive. He went for 70 runs in the first innings. I think he only bowled 11 overs, and he didn't pick up a wicket. So Captain Rob has shown faith in him by allowing him to open the bowling with Matt. So let's see if we can repay that faith.
That's a very slow throw. Must be Preble.
That's actually a very fast throw for James Preble. I think he's being unfair on the man.
So Rob, Matt Kidd actually is one of your strongest bowlers, and he bowled really well in the first innings, but I don't think he got enough of a bowl. Do you think he's fit enough, or is there an injury concern?
No, he was complaining about foot problems yesterday. I think his studs were too loose. He's always been an overcompensating kind of individual, so he just needs to get the right shoes for his feet, for the foot size.
That was so close.
Okay. Well, Taha is struggling over here, Samir. You can see over there, just beat the bat with Tom Allen's wonderful swing bowling. He's faced 5 balls so far, Taha, and he hasn't yet gotten off the mark. What is your feeling about Taha? Do you think he's struggling in this form of the game?
Not really, Arjun. I think you're probably misreading this. So we practiced this kind of struggled batting on the nets just to deceive our opposition. As you can see, he's off the mark now. It's all part of the strategy.
True, and he did score 45 in the first innings, which is a good score. But I guess if you're looking to score 450 with your team, then 45 probably from your opening batsman is not enough. You want one of these guys to score a century, and probably that's going to be Gokul, who's been promoted right up the order from number 8 all the way up to 3.
Very well said, yeah. And expect something from Arjun as well, right? He's been commentating a lot, but I want him to score runs as well.
Oh, that's been put away nicely.
That's a terrific shot from Taha. I've noticed that Matt Kidd, in all of the games that he's played so far, has been bowling really short outside the off stump. And I don't know if Matt has the pace that someone like a Sam Egan or maybe even a Samir Rana himself may have. So I don't know if that's the right thinking there from Mad Kid.
Well, like I was saying earlier, there's been a few mutinies throughout this match so far. You can see from the field that's been set, he's got 4 men in the slip cordon, mid on, mid off, cover, but no point. So I would dare say there's no point to the line length that he's bowling.
That kid famous really for asking what's the point. I don't think he really understands the fielding process. It's just bowling he's focused on.
So we have 7 people watching right now. We have Dave Barber. Good morning, Dave. We also have Greg with us.
Dave, question for you. Which cough drop are you drinking today?
For 11.
I don't think you drink a cough drop, right? Do you? Maybe you drink
Well, I
cough
mean, you
syrup.
could melt it. You could probably
You'll
melt
discover
it.
that. Yeah.
Okay. I need to try that.
We have a question for Arjun from Greg. Did you actually just put Pace and Samir Rana in the same
Just
sentence?
one run there.
Right. So what Greg is insinuating over here is perhaps that Samir Rana is not a fast bowler, and I want to challenge that statement from Greg. I think Samir Rana is a really, really fast bowler. He has been showing in this first innings that his length has been improving. In fact, it's fairly immaculate, his length. He picked up 2 superb wickets of, I think it was James Tamplin whose wicket he picked up with that fantastic catch at deep square leg of Melvin.
Of course, yeah, Templin and Jack. But I would give I think from Greg's point of view, I think he doesn't seize the ball that I bowl. So for him, it's pace or slow. It doesn't really matter because he can't really see the ball. So fair enough.
Yeah, so I think Samir's a pretty quick bowler. I have had no complaints with him when I've played with him.
On target with that throw despite the distance.
So far, so good. These guys are running well.
Yeah, perhaps the fielding in these early overs is a bit too attacking, and there's a few loose balls from both the bowlers over there, some short bowling, and Taha and Sahir are not ones to just leave the ball or defend it. They're both going to smack it around.
Looking at the skyline, it seems like it's very early morning, like 6 o'clock or something.
Yeah, I think the problem I have is that I forget that Matt Kidd and Tom Allen as students just don't have any sense of ability in morning. They're normally too hungover.
Got it.
Yeah, maybe you need some maturity, such as yourself and Craig Bull, to come on into the attack.
I think I'd like to give them at least a few more overs, see what they can do. Then definitely look at changing.
Right, Rob, tell me, are you surprised with the way Bully has performed in the one day or as well as this first innings?
No, not surprised at all. He's always had the ability, especially with that swinging ball. It's always fantastic to watch. So I think it was the right call, and he's always been impressive, personally.
Tamplin, do you have any stories or anything to share about Craig Bull? You've played a lot with him. What are your thoughts on Bull as a bowler, firstly, and then secondly, just as an all-round person?
Well, as a bowler, Bully is the only one who's really generated enough pace and bounce to actually get me in the face when I was keeping. He bowled it, and then it just took a nice low trajectory and just popped up straight off the heel of my palm, straight up into my face. And only minor cosmetic damage, bit of a thick lip, but an enjoyable bowler to keep to. And when you're batting against him, it's always tricky. Facing him in the nets and occasionally out in the middle for practice matches, just really tricky. Puts it on the spot, line and length, bit of swing. Love it. I mean, the only real department of the game that he needs to work on is perhaps the banter. It's a little quiet. Sometimes could be a bit of a bigger figure in the field, but equally with such large personalities as myself, Dave Barber, James Preble, sometimes you get lost in the mix.
James, do you think we overrate the whole concept of banter? We've seen a lot of recent comments coming out of Australia, several documentaries as well, talking about banter and how that's damaging club cricket and friendly cricket, where people are expected to be macho, not play the game just for the fun of it.
Well, I think it's a very much a question of how you go about it. So my theory on banter in the game, as it were, is very much that you're never negative about the opposition. You're always trying to build up your own team, just being good about your own team, everything in good humour.
That's a solid shot.
And that you're certainly never swearing at an opposition. You might only swear at your own blokes if you're doing it in jest. And also, realistically, if you start saying nasty things about the opposition, you're getting worked up. They're like to start, really going to get back into you. And also, you set yourself up if you're batting second, for instance, where if you screw up, you're just going to get it absolutely worse. So realistically, we try and create a nice, positive atmosphere out on the pitch. Plenty of puns, plenty of positive, friendly banter. Maybe, an ever so slight just question if, the batsman's got sweaty palms or particularly bright shoes, but that's about it, really. Nothing nasty. Certainly no Ramnoesh Sarwan and Glenn McGrath sort of stuff. That's just way too far.
If you're watching in the comments, we know that there's 9 of us watching, and we know there's 5 not with us in commentary. Greg and Dave Barber are 2 of them. So there's 3 of you over there hiding quietly in the background. So if you're up there, just tell us that you're there. Just say hello, good morning.
I hope Gokul is there, because this is not off peak yet, so I hope he makes it to the crease, because he is 1 down.
Yes, well, I've received a text very recently from Melvin, and Melvin says that he's going to join us very soon. So maybe in the next 10 minutes we'll have Melvin as well. Probably he may have something to say to you, Samir, because you've dropped him down in the batting lineup. He was one of your top order batsmen.
Again, Arjun, you always pay attention to the negatives. I am putting him down because I have confidence that he'll be able to save us later on, but he'll bowl much more in the second innings.
Right.
We discussed it last night over biryani, me and Melvin. So everything's sorted.
Okay, well, we have Gokul in the comments, and let's see if we're going to simulate 5 overs, and let's see if Gokul is actually asked to bat in the next 5 overs. So quickly, the score is 26 runs and no wickets in the first 6 overs, 3 overs each for Matt and Tom. Let's simulate 5 overs.
About to face their first.
Well, we've
Step away from commentary for a second. I'll be right back.
We have lost the first wicket today. That first wicket is of Sahir Jori. Sahir Jori is out for 14, which brings our very own Sahir actually is out for 15. LBW by Sam Egan. Sam Egan coming into the attack early. The first change bowler, Sam Egan. That's unexpected because I think he was the 6th bowler in the first inning. So Rob really showing the faith in Sam, bringing him on. LBW. Which brings out our very own Gokul. Quick comment over there from our fans. Mr. Greg Gunawardena starts again with his quacking. That's because Gokul scored 0 runs in the first inning. So let's see if Gokul has a chance to get off the mark over here. He's facing the one and only Sam Egan.
Yeah, in terms of Sam Egan getting an earlier bowl, I just thought that he deserved a chance to really show his prowess in the Test arena. So I decided it would be a good choice to bring him in a bit earlier, give him a good go early on in the game.
Yeah, well, Gokul doesn't hold back there. Another short delivery wide outside the off stump. Really unthreatening delivery there from Sam. Gokul doesn't middle it, so it doesn't reach the boundary. But he gets 2, which means Gokul is off the mark. That's his first runs in this entire match. So he'll feel comfortable now.
Yeah, I feel Gokul's going to go for a big score there. We had this talk last night while he was eating a lot of biryani. He's going to score a big one.
I think there was a single over there. It seems like these two batsmen in the middle probably are not the ones to take those quick singles. Taha not known for his quick running, and neither is Gokul known for that quick running. So I think there was a missed opportunity over there.
I think they will. If Uber is allowed, I mean, they would definitely go for it, but because they have to walk, I think probably not.
I'm thinking we should maybe look at simulating again, just try and get through these last two
And that's
innings.
4.
Okay, so apparently no one wants to see Gokul bat, and captain's asking to just pass through the innings.
Captain,
No,
not
not
captains.
Not through the innings, just saying to get it going a bit quicker.
The thing is, Rob, whenever we simulate, I seem to lose wickets.
Yeah, that's
They've
not
got
what I'm
two
trying
for
to do
that.
at all.
Good job.
I didn't even cross my mind.
Well, let's see if you lose a wicket right now, because we remember yesterday the lower order of Sam and I think I forget who it was. They lasted, I think Craig Bull, yes, they lasted 25 overs together, and that's what really caused damage for the Wolves. Let's see if there's a loss of wicket in the next 5 overs. Taha and Gokul are batting. It's 37 for 1 after 8.5 overs. Let's simulate 5 overs. Okay, we don't seem to have done the whole 5. We've simulated until 10 overs. So we simulated, I think, 8 balls, no wickets so far. Let's simulate 5 overs. Okay, things are going well so far for the Wolves. 64 for 1 in 15 overs. Taha and Gokul both still in there.
You can't see that, Arjun, right now? We saw that now.
So everyone watching on YouTube can see it, actually.
No, I'm watching on YouTube as well.
Yeah, but they can hear my commentary later. You can hear my commentary earlier. Wonderful. So I've pressed simulate 3 times, 5 overs each, and both of these batsmen are still in there, Taha and Gokul. Let's do a 4th and final simulation, then we'll go back into the middle. It'll be interesting to see who's been bowling and if James Prebbles has had a chance yet.
The right arm pace bowler.
Okay, let's have a look at the scorecard over here. Things are looking really solid for the Wolves. 126 for 1 in 30 overs, going at 4 and over. All the runs really coming from the bat of Taha Mashadi, not out for 73 after his 45 in the first innings. That's terrific work from Taha. Really strong run rate. He's only faced 89 balls. On the other hand,
Gokul as well. He's been running, I think. 38 is not a bad score for Gokul.
right. Samir, what do you think about Gokul's comment on the side? I actually don't understand who he's talking about, but let me see if you try and understand.
Yeah, that's just biryani playing up.
Right.
Too much biryani.
Right, Andrew Conahan is here. This is something for Rob and James Tamplin, I think, this sort of creativity. But before we get to Andrew Conahan, and good morning, Andrew Conahan, Rob Jordan, you can see on your screen the 6 bowlers that you've bowled so far.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the bowling performance so far?
I think there's been a bit of mutiny because personally I wouldn't have been given Matt Kidd this many overs. I would rather have seen James Prebble and Craig Bull get a few more overs in this stint, having done the damage in the first innings.
And is there a reason why Sam Egan was taken off after 3 overs? It seems like he was hit for a few boundaries by Taha. He's at almost 6 and over, but maybe he would have deserved another chance.
I just felt that he wasn't bowling to the plan early on. A bit too short and wide, really.
Let's be honest, Rob. Nobody's really listening to you to kind of come and bowl.
So, Rob, do you want to change your bowling lineup or do you want to continue? Because it looks like Matt Kidd is the next bowler.
I would like to be putting Craig Bull in. If not Craig Bull, then James Prebble.
Right. Okay. So
That's
I
a
am.
lot of faith in Preble, Rob.
Is coming on.
You forget this isn't real Preble, this is simulation Preble. So
Okay.
So you want James Preble and who's the other one? Was it Craig Bull? You said.
Craig Bull.
Right. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's neutralize the teams and let's see James Preble coming into the attack facing Gokul. And it's interesting that James is facing Gokul because let's watch this delivery. Because there's a comment from Gokul in the YouTube comments over here, which is that Rob has bowled 5 bowlers and Preble. So what Rob is what Rob's insinuating is what Gokul's insinuating is that James Preble isn't really considered a bowler. Gokul, if you're listening in the comments, perhaps you could elaborate on that and tell us why you think James Preble is not a good enough bowler to be bowling to you. And while we wait to hear from you, maybe we ask the same question to Samir Rana about James Preble. Samir, do you think James is someone who is up to the mark at this level?
I think the simulation Preble might be. Simulation Preble is very different than the normal Preble we have available in Merton. So that Preble is known for banders, and this Preble is probably good at bowling. I think Gokul needs to be a bit careful in terms of his batting because Preble has been lethal in these kind of matches. So yeah, I think respect is due where it is. So Gokul needs to be slightly careful playing simulation Preble.
James, you're standing behind the wickets. What do you feel about James Preble, your counterpart over here? How is he bowling?
He's doing okay. Going at 4 and over is decent. I say that just as it's been a bit of a lofted shot there from Gokul.
More like a Raj shot.
But yes.
Oh, and I want to interrupt you actually. Sorry, James, but that brings up the 100-run partnership. I think this is one of the first 100-run partnerships we've seen recently, or at least for this team. So, well played, Gokul and Taha. Sorry, James, continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a really fun challenge to keep to Preble. Particularly when he decides to come sort of rounding through, just because at that point I'm confused, the batsman's confused, and the umpire's confused, and so is probably James as well. So it makes life interesting.
Right, and the system decided to have Sam Egan come in for a ball, which
as I said, nobody listens.
Which he didn't want. So let's.
I'm just doing 2 different things. I can't do 2 different things right now.
No, he can't.
Melvin's asking who were the openers. It was Sahir and Taha, Melvin. Because, yeah, I couldn't change the opening pair.
Yeah, we need to have Samir stop complaining because probably he's going to go down the Gokul route and not get a chance to... Oh, looks like he's doing a Melvin over there, Sam.
No, the ball hasn't gone behind him yet.
That's a good save. And just to clarify, it's not a complaint. I think it's just context for Melvin. If he asks me why Sahir opened. Stop being so negative.
Right, I'm gonna try and see if I can simulate a few. So, quick look at the score again. 133 for 1 after 31 overs. We've just seen Taha and Gokul score 100 runs together. Gokul's still not out on 43. And as we simulate 5 overs, let's see if Gokul gets to his 50. Before I simulate, or while I simulate James, we have yet another James, the one and only James Preble, who's on YouTube right now. Do you have anything to say to James?
Well, just welcome him to the show. It's nice of him to turn up, and yeah, well, hopefully that he'll be back to his strike bowling shortly.
I have a question for Craig. Craig, how do you feel like? Would Gokul go for his 50? Do you feel under pressure with your innings in the first?
Who's the question for, Craig or Greg?
Both of them.
Craig Bull, you mean? I don't think Craig Bull is watching. He's actually bowling. He's busy bowling right now.
Well, you need a machine as well, Arjun. I think a hearing aid would be helpful for you. But I think Gokul's gone out, actually.
Yep, that's true. So Gokul was out when we simulated. He was caught behind by James Tamplin off the bowling of Craig Bull. So Craig Bull continuing his terrific bowling after the 4 wickets that he picked up in the middle of the first innings. It looks like Gokul was able to hit a smart 4, which brought up his 50 actually. So well done, Gokul. You got out for 51, but he did get out off the next ball, caught behind by James Tamplin. And that has brought to the crease our new number 4 batsman for the Wolves, and that's the captain himself. Decided to promote himself a little up the order, and that's Samir Rana at 4. So he's batting right now to Craig Bull, as we see Samir Rana getting off the mark with a glorious cover drive for a single.
I am doubtful Gokul will play the next match because he just watches his game and then runs off, as he's done in the commentary now. So yeah, we are reviewing that as a team decision.
Melvin has a comment over there asking for Charu. Charu, just for context for the others, is Charu Sharma. He's, one would say, the original Harsha Bhogle. He's a journalist who started commentating on cricket matches in the 90s on local Indian television, the free Indian television. But then he got upgraded in the late 90s to Harsha Bhogle, and then Charu Sharma has never been seen since. Interesting story, actually. Gopal and I, when we were little 14-year-old boys, I think, we met Charu Sharma when we were selected for a sports quiz. We were selected as one of the top 12 teams in Bombay for a national sports quiz, the ESPN sports quiz, I think it was called. And Charu Sharma asked us a few questions. In, I think, 45 minutes or an hour, maybe 45 minutes of the actual quiz on stage, we got 0 answers.
Just 1 run there, but that's handy.
Right. So to kind of bring it back to Andrew Cunahan, who I feel has been ignored, I'm not very good at this, but James Tamplin, I would love to see your impersonation skills. Cunahan asked for us to impersonate our least favourite. I believe it was the least favourite, but it could have been most favourite. Commentator.
Well, I tell you what, I'd really love to take it outside the cricket arena and try and impersonate Stuart Barnes. The guy does my nut in whenever he commentates on a rugby match. But, let's think.
I don't like Ramiz Raja, but I can't really impersonate him. He's very biased, I think.
Plays a straight bat on that.
I think my favourite's got to be Jonathan Agnew. And yes, so he's coming up to the wicket now. And he bowls, and that's just played forward there, nudged out into the leg side, fielded by a man at mid-wicket. Oh, who am I kidding? It's actually Blofeld, of course it's Blofeld. It's like, well, my dear old thing, and it's a lovely day here at the John Innes, the mountains sparkling in the background with the late April snow. And he comes in now, he bowls, and that's played nicely to the offside and fielded by the man at deep cover.
Well done, James. That was beautiful.
And I think that's probably about it.
Well done. You deserve a round of applause. So we have 12 people watching. I think yesterday's highlight was about 16 people watching at the same time. We still don't know who they were because they're a bit quiet. So we have 12 right now, and anyone who's still on there, Just leave a comment.
And a single.
Plays
Oh.
the cover drive.
Beautiful catch.
I think in terms of it, I mean, my favourites.
Well, you may want to watch this right now. I want to interrupt you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I haven't seen what's happened there. That's beautiful.
Lofted cover drive from Samir. Craig Bull once again picking up another wicket. He's picked up 6 in the match so far. It was a bit of a flamboyant shot there from Samir. The fielder in the deep runs in, manages to grasp it just beneath his knees. So it's a very good catch there by I don't know yet who it is.
Well, the background is Samir needs to go to the kitchen.
Greg Gunawardena, good catch.
Samir needs to go to the kitchen and wash dishes. So, you know, that was needed. That was much needed.
Right, and that brings in Arjun into the middle as we see Taha pushing that away for a single to bring up his 90. Arjun is going to face his first ball off Craig Bull, and it's interesting because in the previous 2 games, Craig Bull is the one who's gotten Arjun out. He got Arjun out in the one-dayer, and then he got Arjun out again in the first innings of this test match. And that's a wonderful way to show who's boss. Beautiful pull shot from Arjun. Paul runs away to the boundary for 4.
I think that was a really good shot. I would love to see the real Arjun play these shots as well.
Who's Allied Business Management Consulting?
There we go. We have ABMCL, Allied Business Consulting, who has joined us. I do know who Allied Business Management Consulting is, but maybe you want to introduce yourself. Nope, no, it's not actually Nicole. It's someone who does look a little bit like Nicole.
Is it Mo?
Yes, Mo is correct. Let's see, can someone read out what Mo's saying?
Greg usually drops them. They tend to be a lot easier than those equivalent to pies in the sky.
Right, hello Mo. Mo, can you tell us where you are right now? Why are you not playing this game? While I simulate. Taha, by the way, is on 94, not out. Let's see if he reaches his century.
Batted Taha.
Well done, Taha.
Yes, Mo's watching us from Pakistan. Let's look at the scorecard. I've simulated a quick 20 overs, which saw Taha reach his century, but again, caught by James Tamplin, bowled by Craig Bull. Craig Bull continuing his wonderful performance from the first innings and picking up 3 wickets here in the second innings. So Taha's out for... Yeah, well done, Craig. Taha out for a century, brilliantly played century of just 130 balls. But what we also missed just now in the previous ball was a run out. I think it's one of the first run outs we've seen. That run out mine was run out by the one and only Paul the Wall. So things were looking really solid. You can see in the fall of wickets right at the bottom, 152 for 1. And then now they've lost 4 wickets in the last few overs, scoring just 50. So 207 for 5, which brings in Raj, who was the top scorer in the first innings, and the ever flamboyant Aniket Sengupta.
Do you want to dwell on, like, just explain, how did you get run out? Was it a confusion, or was it like you're trying to sneak in a single?
Yeah, I was trying to sneak in a single. I pushed it to square leg, but then I was sent back by Raj on the other innings because Raj wasn't ready. So I said, Let me go. Let's try. Maybe I misread the fielder who was Paul Parmenter. Maybe I thought that he couldn't get it back in time. That was my mistake at the end. Paul slapped the ball back in. James Tamplin, fast as always with his hands on the wickets. Very quick work by the fielders.
Ends the over. Wynnum, 5 for 209.
Answer to Moore's question whether Preble is an off spinner. I feel like Preble is more like he just throws the ball and see what happens. He doesn't know himself whether he's a spinner or a pacer, I would say. That's how I see him.
Yeah, in fact, this is a similar question to what maybe it was Gokul or Greg, one of them who said it earlier. They were doubting whether James is even a bowler. So there's a few people doubting James's abilities, which I think is unfair, right? Because James picked up 4 wickets in the first innings and he was man of the match in the one-dayer.
I think it's one of those things where they often go after the person they're most afraid of. So they're really just trying to get into his head, just to really allay their own fears of inadequacy.
Right. Do we still have Rob on commentary?
Yep, I'm still here.
Rob, what do you feel about your counterpart who's on screen right now? The way he looks, does he resemble the real Robert Jordan?
I would say he's probably slightly more flamboyantly ginger than I am, but overall, I'm impressed with the likeness.
And can you talk to us about that mustache that you had? You used to have a mustache, but then you've converted that into a proper beard. Why is that?
Oh no, the mustache is back.
Right. Right. My vote is for the mustache. I think it was something unique to you.
Yeah, I enjoy the mustache, but I just feel like the full beard is less maintenance, really. That's my reasoning for it, in all honesty.
Samir, what is your feeling about Aniket over here right now? You pushed him slightly up the order to number 7 after his decent innings. What's your expectation?
And that's the end of the over. Wynnum, 5.
I want him to make Raj run. For me, run doesn't really matter. I want Raj to be fit and healthy. For me, it's more like a calorie burner. So that's my intention there. Just want to make Raj run with Aniket.
Okay, so let's see. It's 50 overs done. We're 212 for 5. Raj is batted 10 runs. Aniket just in for 2. Let's see if Raj survives being run out for the next 5 overs. Yeah, well, Raj has survived, but as you can see in the background, Aniket's gone. Aniket's caught in the deep by Matt Kidd at was it deep cover, I think it was, and bowled by James Preble. It was a ball looped up in the air, pathetic ball. Aniket down the track smacks it, but a fantastic catch in the deep by Matt Kidd.
I'm just going to take a break for a few minutes and then I'll be back and see to sort something out.
Yeah, and that's brought Sachin Kapoor into the middle, and as we have simulated 20 overs at a stretch, let's have a quick look at the scorecard after that.
Coming into the attack.
James, can you walk us through the scorecard? That should show up on your screen any minute.
Yeah, I shall, certainly. So, scorecard-wise, just running through the batting card, the openers Sahir Johri and Taha Mashadi. Sahir went early LBW to Sam Egan, followed by Taha, fantastic innings, 103 off 130 balls, caught behind by me off Craig Ball's bowling. Followed slightly later by Gokul Krishna. There was a lovely stand there of 123 runs, and that really was some fine batting. After that, a little bit of trouble for the Wolves, and the third wicket for 162, then 195, 207, now 223. They're recovering somewhat now. Raj Chandra playing a nice hand, just got to his 50. Sachin Kapoor, we'll have to see how he goes. He's on 32 at the moment. Will he be able to make it up for us? Now, the question is, what batting do we have left to come? Gopal Balakrishnan, capable batting all-rounder. Melwin, no slouch, and then Sunil as well. Just looking at the bowling, perhaps, if you could just take that on for me.
You have to say it louder, James. Arjun probably has some difficulties.
There we go. And so, yes, so you see the overall situation. The Wolves are about 216 ahead, and so we have an interesting prospect. And Samir, I'd actually throw it over to you. What do you think a good lead is going to be in this matter? We're on day 3.
Ideally, I think 350 plus. I know it's a far stretch to go from here, but 350 plus should be a good lead to go to aim for. I still have belief in Sachin and Raj out there, so let's see what happens.
Right. Samir, what do you think about the bowling so far? Do you think they're over-reliant on Craig and James Preble, who've again seemed to pick up wickets, but then there's nothing else coming from Tom, who's wicketless so far in the match, and Rob Jordan himself, who's wicketless?
Yeah, I think with Craig Bull probably is the pick of the bowlers at the moment in the first innings as well. So heavily relied on that bowler. So we ideally want to have Tom Allen bowl more overs. We don't really mind Preble, so yeah, bit worried about that. Rob's gonna go heavy with Craig Bull.
Okay, well, he seems to have Sam Egan, who's back into the attack, who's going to be bowling to... we don't want him to bowl. Yeah, let him do a Melvin over there. Yeah, Sam Egan's going to continue bowling to Raj, who, as we've seen, has just reached his 50.
Great ball. That's a great ball. He's probably too scared of Raj.
Well, I think I need to move ahead. Yeah, well, Raj has been in good form, right? What do you feel is the reason for Raj's good form recently?
Again, I would say that's the biryani from Hounslow.
Also, probably the real Raj's real true characteristic is triumphing through adversity, and he'd had a fair amount of flack thrown his way by myself, by others, and particularly by his own team. So really, just a defiant performance in this match from him, and really one to be encouraged.
Well, I've gone ahead and simulated a few more overs, and we see that there still isn't a wicket that has fallen. It's a fantastic performance from both of these boys, Raj and Sachin. Both of them were captains of their teams in the previous season for Merton. And Sachin Kapoor has just reached his 50, and Raj not out for 91. So Raj looks like he may reach his century, which will be 2 centuries for the team. I'm sure Samir is going to be pretty pleased with this batting performance.
I am indeed. I'm very proud of the boys. This was a game plan, so well executed.
Right, and Samir, you said that you wanted a lead of 350. Your team was trailing by 70 runs, which means that you'd like them to score about 420 at least. They're only about 75 runs away from that with 4 wickets in hand, but more importantly, Raj and Sachin are both in the middle, and they don't look like they're going to get out. So probably your target of 420 is quite achievable.
Yeah, very positive about it at the moment. Let's see what happens, but yeah, very likely we'll reach a target.
Gents, I was just thinking on the composition of teams here, how we had such a valuable contribution from the lower middle order. It's sort of the rear-engine strategy, isn't it, rather than the traditional load the order up front and the front-engined. And some teams have transitioned to a mid-engine strategy. Whereabouts do you think it's going to go in the future? Do you think it's just going to be batting focused all the way through, or do you think it's going to be stack your order heavy at the top and then go from there?
Well, I think, James, if you do stack your batting order at the top, there is always a risk of collapse because everybody can have a bad day. Unlike Greg and Gokul, who have a bad day every day, but there are chances when everybody can have a bad day. So I think if you mix it up, you're much more safe, I guess. But you need to be clever. I think you need to be flexible depending on the conditions and who the bowlers are.
Good thinking.
Okay, and we see Raj over there, who's hit 2 fantastic boundaries. One of them was a brilliant cover drive, and he's got 10 runs off 3 balls, which brings up his century. Absolutely magnificent performance from Raj. Raj has almost scored 200 runs in this match. He's only been out once. Like I said, there were questions about his position in this team. There were rumors at the beginning about Kuldeep perhaps coming in and getting his spot. There were also rumors about Kuldeep having some visa problems, and those visa problems prevented Kuldeep from playing, which allowed Raj to get in. But this was complete faith shown by Captain Samir, and that's paid off. So well done, Raj, and also well done, Samir, for picking Raj.
I'm really proud of the boys. Although Kuldeep had visa issues, he could have still made it, but I think his diary was busy because of his new obsession, as we spoke yesterday. So yeah, I'm very happy to pick Raj.
Right, what is this new obsession of Kuldeep's?
Oh, I think, guys, if anybody's on TikTok, you would know that Kuldeep is now a TikTok team sensation. He has a lot of team followers, and he is an influencer. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
Right, and what does Kuldeep actually do on TikTok? Does he do his dancing, or does he sing, or does he just make funny faces?
Unfortunately, I have no idea, Arjun, because obviously it's teenage sensation. So I passed my teenage long ago. But I would like to ask Gokul, who's still in teenage, what does he do?
Yes, while we wait for Gokul to respond to us, we see.
A loud appeal.
There's a loud appeal that's going to come up on your screens.
Well worth a shout.
I hope it's safe.
Good bowling in that over.
Yep, it's safe indeed. They're not reviewing it. It was going down the leg very clearly. James, where do you think Rob's going to get his wickets from now?
Well, I think we need another spell of Craig Ball, if I'm honest. Just get Bully back on, and I think that's going to be the way forward. Always provided the breakthrough before.
And that's 4.
Right, Matt Kidd steaming into Sachin Kapoor. Sachin Kapoor heaves it, almost goes all the way to the boundary for 6, but just falls short. 4 runs for Samir.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, as we move to the simulation screen, and let's look at the score very quickly before we simulate. 91 overs done. The score for the Wolves is 358 for 6. They're creeping up to that 300 lead with 2 solid batsmen on the crease, Raj Chandra and Sachin Kapoor. Oh, and we see over there, we see our first wicket falling in a long time. Raj Chandra, LBW, by James Preble for 118. Absolutely fantastic score of 118. And that was a partnership of 160 runs for the 7th wicket between Raj and Sachin Kapoor. So really well done by Raj. You were outfoxed by James Preble, who has deserved a wicket. He's been bowling non-stop for a long time, trying to get some wickets. So well done, James, and very, very well done, Raj.
Well done, Raj. My main batsman's out now, like Gopal. He's my trump card.
Yeah, so maybe we'd want to watch a little bit.
Horrible speeches.
He's orange. Never heard that before about Gopal.
Sorry, trump card. Bad joke. Never mind.
Solid defensive shot right behind.
Is Gopal watching? Is he among the people watching right now?
Good question. We know James is in his ear, behind the stumps. Yeah, where is Gopal today?
I think he's probably climbing the mountains behind the keeper there.
So let's see if that's a wicket maiden for James Preble.
Great shot.
Talking about Preble, he did ask a question in the comments, which probably ignored.
Wynnum at 4 runs.
What are people's favourite cricket sledges?
In that over, taking the score to 7 for 387.
I know that he's always partial to sending the bales to Wales, and has occasionally asked a batsman if he can bowl like his sister.
Okay, so it looks like we have reached the second session of the third day of this test match after lunch. Let's see if that changes the way
Greg is saying
Sachin's
the
going.
YouTube comments have stopped loading, Arjun.
Oh, okay.
Restarting it all.
No, I don't think restarting works. I think we'll have to read out those comments. If one of you is on YouTube watching, maybe if you can read out those comments.
The right armour is coming on to bowl.
Oh, and welcome Bassett to the stream.
Is there any other comment that Greg or anyone else has?
Who configured Sachin's batting stats? This is bizarre.
I would say not bizarre at all. Sachin has been known to bat quite well.
Okay, speaking of batting well, let's have a look. I've simulated a few overs now, about 20 overs. Let's get back to the scorecard and see where we are. So it looks like we are now on the middle of day 4 of this test match. So perhaps Samir may want to consider when he wants to declare this innings. But day 4, it's 3:20 p.m. So we're reaching the end of the second session, and the score is 438 for 8. Sam Egan has just picked up the wicket of Gopal for 35, and that was a fantastic performance of partnership over there of over 60 runs between Gopal and Sachin. Not over, just under. Sachin Kapoor not out on 83, which brings Melvin into the batting lineup at number 10. If we have a quick look at the bowling scorecards, 3 wickets for Craig and 2 wickets each for Sam Egan and James Preble, and nothing yet for Matt Cade, Tom Allen, who've both gone for 59 runs, and Rob Jordan, who's gone for 63.
See, ideally I want the captain to bowl more. Mr. Rob Jordan should bowl more.
I mean, he's gone through 22 overs. That's the second highest in the team, barring the spinner, Preble. So work rate's good. Just economy rate was very good. Just keeping it together.
And he's been talking about mutiny in his team. There's something going on between him and Matt. I have a feeling that everything's not right between them.
Yeah, you can look at the body language while they're fielding. It doesn't seem like these guys are getting on well.
So, I mean, have you given inspiration to a declaration at any time, or do you feel you want to solidify yourself and ensure that you lose the game?
Yeah, I don't want to kind of risk it, so I'll play some for more overs at the moment, and then think of declaring later on.
Okay, you do have 90 overs in each, so one would expect that that the Rhinos don't last more than 90 overs. I think they did last just about 90 or 100 overs in the first innings when they scored over 300.
Exactly. I think I need to just make sure our bowling attack is well thought of.
It's a beautiful forward defensive edge to third man from Sachin. But yeah, there is something strange about Sachin. As we see over there, a fantastic cut shot just over the fielders for 4, and that moves Sachin along to 87 not out. I think this is more about the temperament that Sachin is showing more than his batting skills per se.
But for all you superstitious people out there, he's now on 87, and as the Australians know, 13 less than 100. It's going to be, is it a jinx number? We'll have to see how he gets on.
Yeah, and Melvin, if Melvin is watching, perhaps you can tell us what you feel about your batting expectations today. You've been pushed down to number 10, but again, your captain has said that he does have faith in you, so maybe he's expecting some big runs from you at number 10 as well. you can see the lead there at the bottom corner of your screen, 375 lead, which is more than more than Samir had wanted, and I'm sure he's going to be really happy with that lead so far.
I am indeed.
Yeah, so I think Samir just needs to keep a bit of an eye out on the overs left, which will allow him to decide if he wants to simulate. We're closing into the end of day 4 as we start simulating a few overs. So we're going to simulate 5 at a time and see if Sachin gets close to his century, or see if Samir wants to declare when Sachin is in his 90s. Well, actually, we're not going to get there. We see Sachin has gotten out for 87, which brought in Sunil, who soon after was LBW by Craig Bull. So Sunil out for 14 runs, LBW Craig Bull. Sachin caught behind
Unlucky Sachin, deserved a century there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Sam Egan was bowling to Sachin, and Sachin was caught by 12th man. So someone was injured, and the 12th man, Taha, came into field against his own team and caught Sachin over there. So
That's team spirit. That's team spirit from Taha.
Sachin, maybe you have something to say to Taha. Melvin over there, I want to point out Melvin's batting over there, 20 not out of 30 balls. So well done, Melvin. You've repaid the faith that Captain Samir has shown in you. So 476 runs is what the Wolves have made. That's a lead of over 400, which means that the Rhinos have to chase down 407 to win.
I would like to open with Melvin and Sachin.
Hang on. So Sachin is going to open the bowling for the Wolves, but let's have a quick look first at the second innings bowling scorecard for the Rhinos. Pick of the bowlers over here, Craig Bull, yet again, 8 wickets in the match for Craig Bull. 2 wickets for James, that means he's picked up 6 in the game. And Sam Egan, good performance. He was a bit expensive, going at over 4 runs and over, but he picked up 3 wickets, and he picked up 3 big wickets in the middle and lower order. So that's your wicket takers. Nothing for James, sorry, nothing for Matt, Tom, or Rob Jordan. No luck for them. But let's see if these guys can contribute to the bat at all. Your batsmen at the crease, chasing a target of 407 in the 4th innings towards the end of day 4, are Paul Parmenter and Jack Ailing. And we have Sachin Kapoor, who is going to open the innings for the bowling of the Wolves. And there's a bit of a choice that Samir wanted with his bowling. But maybe we do that after this over. Let's see who opens. Yeah, I think deciding the bowling order is a bit trickier, especially once the over has begun. Maybe we can decide it for the future overs.
Don't worry, it hasn't begun yet by the look of it. Just
we need some warm up. So yeah, that's Sachin normally does this warm up before the over.
Okay, I think you can hopefully select your bowlers now. Yeah, there you go. So your second bowler is Aniket. Is that? Oh, hey Rob, you've just seen a really good performance from the Wolves batting, and they made 476, which means you're chasing 407 to win. You've got Paul.
Melvin opened the bowling with Sachin.
Yeah, I was following on. I will give credit where it's due, just like Samir did yesterday. It was a very good batting performance. I will say that I do believe the commentary team was very biased towards a batting kind of perspective. Bowling always works in partnerships. Craig Bull did a fantastic job again, but I will say myself and Matt Kidd really did a good job in terms of holding up the overs and the ends. So I just felt it was a little bit unfair at times.
Well
Now
said, Rob.
on 1.
Off to a nice start there. Parmenter
Key
just
here
getting
is
off
to
the mark.
get Paul and Jack out.
I think that's the quickest ball we've seen so far. Sachin bowling at 148 kilometers per hour. Really using that new ball. There's a comment from Ben on YouTube. Ben Thompson on YouTube has actually agreed with his lookalike Rob, saying that there's a batting bias. And Samir, I wonder if there's a bit of trouble brewing there between Ben Thompson and you over there, because you actually dropped Ben Thompson for this game and picked Aniket instead, when Ben Thompson actually had a very good game in the one-dayers. How's stuff between you and Ben?
Fantastic. I think Ben doesn't
And
give you
that
the
gets to
story
the
behind it. So he's
Four
out with his girlfriend at the moment. So he's not available for the match at the moment. So he ran.
It's just flayed him away there through the leg
5
side.
runs added in the over. Wynnum, none for 5.
No one else lost the
Don't manage
broadcast.
to get
Yeah,
away,
I've
but
decided
they've
to
only
take
conceded
comments out of
6.
YouTube, so I'm gonna restart it without any comments. And we have Melvin, who's gonna open the bowling from the other end for the
Oh, it's the
Wolves.
end of the session.
Samir, is there a reason why you picked Melvin? You can see Melvin over there bowling at 110 kilometers an hour, whereas Sachin was almost hitting 150. And you have Gopal, you have Aniket, yet you've decided to go with Melvin.
Yeah, I want batsmen to really think. I want to mix it up. Somebody who's pacing really well. But Melvin is a very clever bowler. He really thinks about where he wants to bowl and how he wants to bowl. Has a lot of control. And as I said yesterday, I don't want to waste Aniket early on. I think he is devastating in the middle order and the lower order, but not at the open bowler. I don't see Aniket as opening.
Rob, there's a comment again from Ben Thompson. He's not letting up. Ben Thompson saying he thinks that the Wolves are missing a certain pace element. Now, the Wolves, which is Samir, has decided to drop Ben Thompson and pick Aniket. And Aniket is no slouch to the ball. He's obviously very fast. What do you think about Ben Thompson's comment over there, Rob?
Personally, I agree with Ben Thompson. I think that there is a certain element lacking from this Wolves team. It was evident in the first innings. We shall see how they fare in the second innings, especially with it being a softer pitch. But yeah, overall I agree. I think Ben Thompson would have been a real asset.
So let me ask you the hard question. Rob. Yes, between the two of them, who would you have picked, Aniket or Ben Thompson, for this game?
Are we basing this on my lineup or on the Wolves lineup?
For the Wolves lineup.
I would have personally probably taken Ben Thompson and found another space for Aniket, maybe over Gokul, who's been out of form.
Interesting. Actually, I think that might be what we see in a future match. Maybe the second one there. Maybe Gokul doesn't really get to hold a spot because Raj has been batting so well, so we don't really need a Gokul over there. Comment from James Preble, a ridiculous one as always. James says, Jack is pulling well like in his uni days.
Does this lead into our banter comment from earlier, gents?
I'd say so.
Do you think, James Preble, is this kind of the banter you want to be seeing in a cricket commentary situation?
Well, it depends. I think if you're in a fielding situation, it's probably appropriate. But for an international broadcast like this, with viewers as far away as Pakistan, I'm not sure it's entirely appropriate.
Okay, let's have a look at the score. 10 runs in 3 overs or 2.5 overs. Paul and Jack are still in there. Melvin and Sachin are continuing to bowl. Let's do a bit of a simulation of 5 overs and see where we get. In fact, I'm going to simulate 10 overs and see where we get. Oh, and as you can see, well, you guys on YouTube would see it soon. This is the fall of the first wicket of Paul Parmenter. He's caught by Taha, caught behind, bowled by Sachin. Sachin will be happy that Taha got a catch of his bowling. If Taha would have dropped that, Sachin would be angry, especially because Taha caught Sachin himself in the previous innings. So
I think that's
lucky there,
understanding.
Taha.
If Taha would have dropped that catch, that would be the end of Taha's career.
End of Taha's career. Samir, what do you think about Taha actually coming onto field for the Rhinos as a 12th man? I know it's a good gesture, but this is a serious international game. Is this what you'd want to see in a game like this?
Yeah, I don't mind, to be honest. If Taha would haven't caught it, somebody else would have, unless it was Preble on the field or Greg. So yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, and speaking of Greg on the field, Greg is now on the field. Greg, vice captain of last year's winning Saturday second 11, is now facing his captain, Sachin Kapoor. And there's rumors of a rift between Sachin and Greg all throughout last season, and perhaps even right now. You see, Greg is on YouTube right now, but Sachin is nowhere to be found right now. So maybe they are talking to each other in the background and there's something going on. James, what do you think is going to happen between in this contest between Greg and Sachin today?
I don't know. I mean, Greg has managed to get off his pair, so his confidence will be ever so slightly rising. Sachin, good. He get good innings in the second innings, but will he be a bit tired? It's going to be a real crucial battle for this day, and we'll really have to see how it develops. I think perhaps Sachin has the edge at the moment, but if Greg starts to get going, maybe get past 15, 20, then I think Greg might start to gain the ascendancy.
Yeah, we'll remind our viewers over here, we're closing into the end of the fourth day over here. There's, I think, 30 overs left in this fourth day, and then just the final day after this. And that shot there from Greg brings up the 50 for the Rhinos. 50 for one Rhinos, chasing a target of 407.
Oh, I don't know about you, Jordo, but I think this is entirely doable.
I would agree entirely, honestly. I think this is a very good start, and we shall definitely grow from here.
That's a shot from Jack there.
Yeah, one would want to see James Preble actually come on to this commentary booth one day. He has a comment over there about Gopal's bowling. Gopal's bowling is more expensive than a pint after lockdown, he says, talking about how expensive Gopal has been with the ball so far.
Fair enough. If I could, I would take away the ball from Gopal, but Gopal doesn't really hear people, so he's going to continue bowling it.
It's Sachin bowling, isn't it?
It was Gopal last over, but Sachin now.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Okay, so we're going to try and simulate another 10 overs and see if... Actually, let's do 5 because we want to see if Greg can last 5 first, then we move on to 10. Wow, well, something's happened over here. I've managed to simulate 20 overs at a go, and the Rhinos have lost 0 wickets in those 20 overs. As you can see on your screen, Jack not out 72 of 93 balls, and Greg not out 63 of 72 balls. So Greg, after a slow start, was really is really been causing some damage, and you can see from the bowling attack, he's caused some damage to Sahir, who's been expensive. 16 runs of his 2 overs for Sahir,
I'm
and
surprised
Gopal as well.
Sunil hasn't bowled yet.
I think you probably told him to, and I think he's too busy with the biryani on the sideline.
Probably yes. I would love to him to bowl if he's finished eating
But
biryani.
it is quite late on day 4, so has he started on his evening biryani?
He probably has. But Sunil, if you're listening, please bowl the next over. Biryani's not going anywhere.
Ready to face the
So let's look at the scorecard again after this. After a few more overs of simulation, we have seen a wicket, which is Greg. He's caught by Gokul and bowled by the one and only Sunil. So fantastic captaincy from Samir over there, bringing Sunil into the attack. Greg out for a really well played 83, which is probably the only runs he's ever scored in his Test career. Very well done, Sunil. 6 runs and a single wicket for Sunil. Sunil's actually the 7th bowler, so there's a lot of bowling that this team has. Samir, tell me, are we going to see the likes of Gokul and maybe Arjun bowling today?
I'll have to think about
Good
that.
delivery
That's an interesting
there. Had
question,
the
Arjun.
batsman defending.
Still thinking and discussing with my team.
And is there a reason why you're going so easily on the Rhinos by not giving them the one and only super fast bowling of Raj?
Yeah, I'm saving Raj for after the game.
Really good banter going on in the comments between Ben Thompson and James Preble, talking about pints and lockdowns and stellar performances.
steady over there. Wynnum 2 for 100.
Off the mark there. Right, avoided the duck walk.
Well done, James. So Aniket continuing, he's gone for 29 runs without picking up a wicket in his 9 overs, and he's bowling now to James Tamplin.
What was going on the wall there?
Samir, what are your thoughts about... Alright, let's talk about Jordan.
What are we talking about me for?
What was going on the wall?
It's something else. Don't worry about me. I'm losing my mind.
If anything, that just gives us
Before
more.
the simulator, Arjun, could we change the bowler? I might give Gokul a bowl or something. I'm thinking about it, but
Maybe I'll simulate first, and then when we get back, we bring Gokul, because I've set this up.
don't really bring Gokul.
Okay. So let's go through a few overs. And as we see over here, Sahir has picked up a wicket of Jack, who actually just managed to scrape through to a brilliant century. So that's a really, really good knock by the Rhinos opener, Jack Hailing, scoring 103 runs. Really doing what his team needed after such a good performance from the Wolves batting lineup in the previous innings. Good wicket there for Sahir. You can see on your screen, Sahir's bowled 4 overs, picked up 1 wicket for 22. And we have a new batsman on the crease right now, and that's James Wagner, who's accompanying James Tamplin in the middle. We have a request about a change in bowling lineup, so let's try and change the bowling lineup. So there's a request to get Gokul as the next bowler. No.
I will change the bowling, but probably not Gokul at that stage. I want Sunil to come and bowl again instead of Aniket.
Okay, so let's have Sunil bowl
The
now.
off spinner is coming
And
on
then
for bowl.
I'll pick up the second ball. I'll put because I have to do it myself.
Okay. So now I need to go back in there and select a second bowler, which is Samir Rana himself. Okay, so now that means we're going to watch a little bit of bowling from these two guys. So Sunil Mudaliar bowling his beautiful off spins to James Tamplin.
Just one of those situations where we're looking to push through to the end of the day, if possible.
James, who do you think is who do you think is going to be the happier of the two captains if it ends like this by the end of the day?
I think if we're 3 wickets down at the end of the day, I think Rob Jordan's probably going to be the happier of the two. We've gone past the halfway mark in the chase, and we'd have 90 overs, day 5 to do.
Plays that defensively. Good.
Not interested. And so yeah, I think realistically, if we can get through to the close with 3 down, then we'll be really quite happy.
Maiden over there by Mudaliar, really good over, flighting the ball all over the place. Really tough for James Tamplin to pick that flight of Sunil's. So we see a new bowler into the attack, which is Samir Rana himself, Captain Samir taking the ball on, and as soon as he comes in, he lets go of that pressure, the ball going all the way to the boundary for the new batsman James Wagner. Perhaps a questionable decision, one would think, but then again there was talk about Samir's speed from Greg. Samir is one of the faster bowlers in this team. Maybe Samir can come back in this next ball against James Wagner. Big shot. Samir missing a deep square leg over there. Perhaps a deep square leg could have got into that, but he had a fine leg instead, so fine leg couldn't reach that. A bit of a top edge by James Wagner. That's a speed that we're talking about, raw pace, Samir.
Yeah, unfortunately it was Gokul and fine leg, so
Some good active fielding there at mid-on. Really good to see that late in the day.
There's one more to the score.
Samir's been quite expensive actually. He's gone for 44 runs in his 10 overs and hasn't picked up a wicket, so it's a bit of a surprising decision, I'd say, to bring Samir back into the attack when he does have.
Look at wickets, Arjun. It's not about the game of economy now, it's about wickets. We need to have wicket-taking bowlers. But you'll get there.
Okay, well, it looks like the pressure is really being taken away from James Wagner, who has faced only 3 balls and has scored 9 runs so far, and so he seems like he's found. Well, let's say that's a catch, wonderful catch at fine leg, top edged again by James Wagner. Samir doing the right thing by changing the fielder over there. He had Gokul over there who couldn't reach the ball, and he brought in his fine fielder over there, Sachin Kapoor, at fine leg. James Wagner top edging it, and an absolutely fantastic catch right on the line by Sachin Kapoor.
And what do you think, Arjun, about my economy now?
Absolutely fantastic catch. Yes, that's that's a good decision, as you can see by Samir. That's the reason why Samir is captaining this match. He's absolutely stellar decision making. And we see a new batsman coming into the crease right now, and that's James Preble. High score of 4.
I apologize for the laugh.
That was a big wicket. That brings in one of the tail batsmen, James Preble, already. And let's see how Sunil and James, the two off spinners, are going to fare. James looking all over the place right now. Sunil bowling his doosras liberally.
I think
James
James
unable to pick it.
surprised to see actual spin because he doesn't really spin the ball. So for James, it's a surprise.
James coming down the track and just defending it. Dusra, that would have moved a little bit away. Then we've seen Taha pick up really quick stumpings behind the wicket before. I think this is going to be a very interesting contest between Sunil and James. See there, James off the mark with a bit of a tentative sweep shot going towards mid-wicket. Oh no, actually it probably went to fine leg. Yeah, that's a good sweep shot from James Tamplin.
And 3 for 1.
That's the way to play a sweep, right off the middle of the bat.
I mean, far be it from me to give up praise. I think actually Prebbles was a better sweep shot, better directed. His going nicely behind square and mostly along the floor. Mine was ever so slightly more lofted and heading in front of square.
So you can see the lights on in the background. The 6 overs left in this day's play as Samir Rana continues bowling to James Tamplin. Samir, what is your tactic right now to get James Tamplin out?
I want James to play a lofted shot over the leg and probably edge 1 or 2. But seemed like James has his eyes set on, so it will be hard, I think.
And James, how are you finding Samir's bowling right now? Is it tough for you, or are you just so comfortable against Samir?
I'm getting more comfortable with the action. It's actually batting under the floodlights, which is a bit new for me. It just changes the perception of things ever so slightly. Samir is always a fine opponent and always a pleasant contest, but yeah, it's the floodlights are just adding a real extra dimension.
And Samir is also bowling with his Ray-Bans on, and is the reflection of the floodlights from his eyes distracting to you?
No, they just make me sparkle all the more.
Samir, tell us, why are you the only player of the 22 who's actually bowling and fielding with these fantastic glasses on?
Simple answer, they're expensive and I want to show them off.
Right, that's a good answer. Samir, I was asked a question by one of your fans earlier who wrote in to me, and she was asking, why have we not seen Samir Rana in any Bollywood movies yet? Do you think after your cricket career is over, maybe we're going to see you in some Bollywood roles?
Not really, Arjun. I think it never happened. I think that I was pitched a lot of scripts, but I don't really like any storylines in scripts so far. So I think if I get a good script, then I'll consider it. But now, the pay and the script isn't to my liking at the moment.
If I could ask you a very direct question, what's the sort of pay that you think would be interesting to you for a role in Bollywood?
I'm not that greedy, but obviously needs to be something. So about £5 would be enough.
One run there.
Oh, coming down the pitch there. Nudge for a single. Quite happy with that.
So an interesting few people on the field right now, right? We've got James Tamplin and James Preble, both of whom are quite active on commentary, and Samir bowling at the other end as well.
I think if we pick one more wicket, then it seems like we will be in a very strong position.
Shouts all around.
Well, as soon as you say that, Samir, your wish has come true. There's that Dusra from Sunil. He bowls it. It drifts away from James Tamplin. James getting an outside edge. We spoke about that Dusra from Sunil, and we spoke about how good Taha is behind the wickets. Oh, let's see if they're gonna. Are they going for the review? These guys.
Quite a solid innings. Good.
I don't know. I'm not sure I would have been fishing for it, but.
Yeah, looks like James Tamplin wanted that review over there, and you can see him now giving that review sign. He really wanted that review, but James Preble talking him out of it.
I think Preble wanted to keep it for himself later on. So yeah, a bit selfish, but probably the right decision.
Good delivery.
Ah, yes, the Stuart Broad move.
Defending.
Yeah, wonderful bowling by Sunil and Samir at both ends. So really good captaincy by Samir. bringing both these bowlers into the attack. 3 quick wickets these guys have picked up in the last 3 overs. And with the loss of James Templin, they do have Sam Egan, who's been playing really well in the last few innings. He scored 250s in both his innings. So that's good stuff. As we see a new bowler coming into the attack right now, it's Melvin who's coming back into the attack. Only 4 overs left in the day, so I think the umpires have said that they can't have the fast bowlers bowling right at the end of the day, so they bring in the slightly slower Melvin. Who's bowling to the new batsman Sam Egan. That's a bouncer from Melvin. I've never really seen Melvin bowl a bouncer, so maybe he's been a bit angry at his demotion, one would say, to number 10 in the batting. Really slamming the ball down into the pitch, but gets pulled away for 4 by the new batsman Sam.
Come on, Melvin, I believe in you. Give it your dusra.
Let's have a quick look at the scorecard before we do a bit of simulation. There's only 5 wickets left in this game, and the Rhinos are at 250, chasing 407, so they're about 150 behind. So it's still pretty neck and neck. 150 for the Rhinos to win, 5 wickets for the Wolves to win, and about a days of cricket left. So the draw looks unlikely. It looks like we really need a partnership from James and Sam if we're to see the Rhinos put up a game over here. Let's simulate a few overs. Okay, we're here back on the morning of day 5, and let's look at the scorecard. James Preble, our very own James Preble, is out. James Preble LBW by a beautifully swinging delivery by Melvin D'Souza. 3 runs only for James Preble of 18 balls. He was struggling in the middle. Didn't really do much at all in both innings with the bat. Sam Egan looking solid as always. 17 not out, but it's a new morning right now. And Rob Jordan is with him in the middle. Looking quickly at the bowling scorecard, 7 bowlers used by Samir. The wickets are spread all around. Sunil picking up 2 for 26, and then 1 wicket each for Sahir, Samir himself, and then the 2 opening bowlers, Melvin and Sachin. No wickets for Aniket and Gopal, which is surprising. Gopal, you can see, going really expensive, 43 runs for his 9 overs. And let's see how day 5 fares for both these
Arjun, just before we
teams.
get back into the gameplay, could you show us the batting abilities? You know, how, in the same way that you've looked at the bowling changes and it shows you people's skills, could we have a quick look at the batting side of things?
Let's see if that's doable. I think it may be. Let's watch this ball. Yeah, so I think what you're trying to see would be in the tactics section.
I think so, yes. I think it's if you select the batting, go onto the batting team, and then...
Played that nicely.
So if you go onto the batting team and you take a look at the batting order, you know
Yeah,
how you
2.
like change the batting order, you'll see it.
So it looks like it's only showing the upcoming batsman over here. Yeah, so...
Okay, well, it's you know, those are some decent skills. So it's one of those that sort of, although we've got 4 wickets left, it's one of those that gives you hope. I think we've got opportunities here.
Yeah, but really most of it, I think, lies in the hands of Rob Jordan himself. Rob, if you're back, what do you think about the situation so far? 4 wickets, but 135 away from victory.
I think overall it's a very even contest, which is what we all expected at the beginning. I think it's been very, very good. But I do back my team. I think we've got the lower ordering batting
They've got 2
required
for that.
to
Good
get the
shot.
150 odds that's left.
Okay. There's a very interesting comment over there in the YouTube comment section by Ben Thompson for Samir. Maybe James Tamplin, do you want to read that comment out from Ben Thompson?
Just 1 second. Ah, I thought Samir played Ram in Golionki Raslila Ram Leela.
That's a great
I did.
stroke.
I did. You have a very keen eye, Ben. Nicely pointed out. But I was not paid for that role, so I don't call it professional work anymore.
So, can you tell us what your role was and what this movie was about?
I was really drunk at that time, so I can't even remember what my role was. It was fun, though. That's what I remember. It was fun.
And what is the movie about?
Yeah, I didn't really read the script, so I just turned up there. Can't tell you, to be honest.
Right. And did you get paid for it?
So at the end of the over, and a
No.
very good
I
one
was
for
just
the
given
batting
like a bit of
side.
biryani in exchange of the role, so that's what I had. And I'm sorry to trouble you, Arjun, but if possible, let me know. I want to change some bowling order.
So you're
Okay.
paid in the Merton cricket way, basically.
Exactly.
Sorry. That was my bad.
Well, Merton, you do have to pay to play as well. So Gopal continuing, we're going to cue a change in bowling lineup, which is going to show up now. Fast ball over there, 150 almost from Gopal. Let's see if we get some new bowlers in Gokul, Arjun or Raj, super fast, to be bowling.
Can I have Sunil and Sachin back on that?
Well, no, we don't. We have a very boring change of Sunil and Sachin. So Sunil is going to be bowling the next one, which means we are going to watch this over and the next over of Sunil, and then we're going to change and watch Sachin as well. Because each time you ask for a change, we need to watch the game, right?
Yeah.
Is that too fast for you, Rob? You got smacked in the stomach by 150 kilometers per hour by Gopal.
Gopal has always been the kind of bowler that I really struggle with. So yeah, he's probably going to give me a couple of bruises in this encounter.
Right. So if you had a choice, Rob, who would you pick from the Wolves team to be bowling against you?
Anyone but Gopal or Raj, really. I can't deal with the super fast. That's the issue I have.
Right. What if you had Gokul or myself bowling right now?
Gokul, I would absolutely destroy, and I don't know who you are, so I can't say anything about that.
I've never seen Harsha Bogle bowl, but yeah.
I thought that comment was pretty harsher, if I was honest.
I mean, I was getting so sick of that. I was just becoming an absolute piss take.
5 runs added there. Wynnum, 6 for 200.
Sorry, I was talking to someone else, boys. Pardon my language.
So Sunil is into the attack for Samir.
One run there.
And almost a chance there.
Wolves really need this wicket of Sam Egan. He's been their bugbear. He's scored 250s in the 2 innings that he's played against them, and he's almost reached his 30 over here as well. Samir, why do you think this is? Do you think that Sam's attacking tactic is something that the Wolves bowlers are not really used to?
Yeah, I think Sam is super aggressive. So he takes the fight to the bowlers, and I need to back my bowlers. I think they will eventually get the wicket. I just need my best bowlers to bowl at the moment. Yeah, so I'm conflicted whether I should bowl Arjun or should I bowl Sachin. Just to kind of mix it up, just to give Rob a flavour who Arjun is.
Good delivery there. Had the
Okay,
batsman
so let's bring
defending.
Arjun in then.
Yeah, seems like the organizer is very quick to do that change.
Yes, they do say that Arjun works in mysterious ways.
Oh, lovely quick one from Sunil. No ball. I don't know if that was a no ball, that one. I
That's a
think
no ball.
just overstepping a bit, Sunil.
Just a touch.
Right, single of the last ball
Another
from
run
Sam
added.
Egan. That takes Sam to 30 not out. Sunil completes his over as we see a brand new bowler coming into the attack. It's the number 5 batsman, Arjun Kiswani, bowling his first ball off this match. Oh, too quick for Sam. Hits him right on the helmet. 159.
And Rob, because you don't know this guy, I think he's been underrated as a bowler.
The fielders will need to chase this one.
Bit too short there from Arjun. Slower 132 this time. Maybe he's tired already. Samir, James has figured out which movie you're in, because James Preble has a comment on YouTube saying Samir was one of the 3 idiots.
Yeah, I was the main idiot in the movie. That's true. Interesting, like how fans are really discovering my movies now.
James Preble seems to also have guessed why Arjun's bowling has deteriorated over this last 4 hours. He's getting tired because of how many laddus that he's been eating.
Moves to 33.
So tell us, Arjun, what's going to be your next ball?
Oh, I was actually just gonna set up simulation right now. So I don't know what the next ball is going to be, but I hope it's a wicket. Okay, let's simulate 5. Rob Jordan is batting with Sam Egan, 294 for 6, 4 wickets required for the Wolves, and just over 100 runs required for the Rhinos.
Really is going to go down to the wire, isn't it?
So a quick look at the scorecard over here. 332 so they're playing well.
50 for Egan, well batted.
50 for Egan, once again, 350 in a row. Rob Jordan giving him really good company, slow and steady, 76 balls, 29 not out. The partnerships closing up to 100 after 257 for 6. These guys are 332 for 6. Arjun just bowled the 1 over. Arjun just bowled the 1 over for 3 runs and was taken out of the attack. And we have Aniket, who seems to be back into the attack. And let's see if Aniket can get any wickets right now as we simulate another 5. Okay, so there's a lot of simulation that's happened right now, and during this simulation the Rhinos have crept up to a score of 376 for 6. So there's only 30 runs required, so the game's almost over. But there's 4 wickets, which we don't know where these 4 wickets are going to come from. Sam Egan, 80 not out.
Interesting that you've turned to Gopal here, rather than perhaps one of your main strike bowlers who's been a bit more successful in terms of wickets. What's the thinking here, Samir?
I don't think he's thinking. Samir, are you thinking about this one?
I think he's just recalling
This
one
is
of
what
his...
you call a captain's innings, my boys.
I think Samir's deep in thought, remembering his role as the chief idiot.
So yes, the partnership's almost 150 runs between Rob and Sam Egan. Sam approaching a century, which is really, really good batting from him. He's batting at 7 and he scored a 50 in the first innings, century, almost a century in the second one. Let's see if he can take the team across the line, but there's only 3 more runs required for the Rhinos to win. And if they do win, that'll be 2 upsets because the Rhinos won the first one-dayer and are looking really solid to win this first test match.
He gets behind the ball and plays defensively.
Surely after potentially 2 upsets in a row, the bookmakers are really going to have to change their odds on the Rhinos' chances of success.
The keeper excited for a second there, nearly took the edge.
It's another bouncer by Melvin. Really getting angry over here, Melvin. 115 miles an hour, but kilometers an hour, sorry, but getting those bouncers in.
I think in terms of this, I agree with James. We definitely think the bookmakers need to be looking at their odds after these first couple of games.
Oh, and that'll do it.
No, scores level actually. They've picked up 2, so scores level. So just a single run to win. Rob Jordan on strike, and Rob Jordan looks hopeful to score. No, that's a dot ball over there. But we want to congratulate Rob Jordan.
The last over.
406.
Now, Jordo, what would your philosophy be here? Would you be taking the suicide single, or just looking to just wait for the bad ball?
I would definitely not be going suicide singles. I'm trying to protect an average here. I've been doing very well recently, so there's going to be no suicide singles from my side. If Sam Egan wants to go and run himself out, he's more than welcome to.
Okay, so all of this is just to change the bowler, which probably hasn't happened because it was a bit too late. Sire has begun the ball.
Question is, will Sam get to his 100?
Yeah, I was just thinking he needs a 6 to get to his 100. Because there's only 1 run required.
Yeah.
So Sahir Johri continuing to bowl. He's bowled decently. He's picked up 1 for 36 in his 6 overs, bowling to really the savior of this game, Sam Egan. Samir, what are your thoughts for the next game? If we do a second one-dayer, do you think there should be a change in the lineup? Do you think there should be a change in the captain as well? Because there might be people calling for your head after this game.
Yeah, and I want to give my head. So yeah, we should have a captain change, I think.
Well, that'll do it. That'll wrap it up. Great performance there by Sam Egan and Rob Jordan, really taking control after a bit of a slide from the Rhinos. 153 partnership with the winning runs as well. Top work there.
Yes. Do you want to talk us, James, through this second innings score of the Rhinos?
It really has been a testament to building partnerships, really. That's okay, Rob. You don't have to apologise. Your team's just won. You have admittedly allowed Sam to be stranded on 99 not out, but I'm sure that he'll forgive you, particularly if you buy him a beer in the bar afterwards. But I think it's interesting, the real balance of the teams here. The Rhinos' focus of 3 wicket keepers, 6 bowlers, and 2 recognised batsmen has actually worked out very well for them. And it's an interesting strategy to see if anyone else will copy it in the future.
Yeah, and definitely the thing to look out over there is that last row once again 257 for 6 and then ending up at 410 for 6. So these guys at the end, Rob and Sam Egan, with the partnership of 150, looking so solid, letting the team over the line. Let's have a quick look at the bowling scorecard over here. Just the 2 wickets for Sunil. Really economical performance from Sunil, going at 2 runs and over. But he did bowl a lot of overs, 25 overs. I guess one of the real downsides would be the performance of Aniket. No runs in his 21 overs, going for 74. There'll be question marks on his place in the team, being dropped or being picked ahead of Ben Thompson. Another poor performance with the ball by Gopal Balkrishnan as well. Gopal in the comments actually saying that Samir should be dropped, but if Gopal is 0 for 58 and Samir is 1 for 58, then I don't know who should be dropped between the two of them. And here you have it here. Here is the match overview actually. The match overview is just shown up on the screen, and would you like to talk about that?
I will be with you shortly. And here we are. So we have the overview of the match then. A strong first innings performance by the Rhinos, managing to get that lead of 70 after the tail wagged, particularly Sam Egan, who I would say, along with Craig Bull, really should be the man of the match. Again, it really has been the story of the lower middle order in this test match. For both teams, numbers 6 through to 11 have provided seriously valuable runs. And the Rhinos have got the better of the Wolves in that respect. It's going to be a fascinating series, and I for one, am looking forward to the next test.
Right, and any last words from Samir before we end the night?
I have no words, but I would congratulate Rob for the win.
Rob, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this is it's kind of gone how I thought it would. I told you the lower middle order was going to be the winners for us, and that's been proven with Sam and myself really steering the ship. Very well played to James in the first innings, Jack in the second innings as well. It was a real team performance, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Great. Man of the match over here is Craig Bull for his 4 wickets in each of the innings and his 37 batting at number 11, which allowed the Rhinos to get that really strong first innings lead of 70 runs. And that's why he's been the man of the match, though one wouldn't argue if Sam Egan also got the man of the match award, picking up 3 wickets in that second innings and scoring 99 not out when the game was looking far away from the Rhinos. And that's it from the middle, from all of us. Thank you to our commentary team, James Tamplin, Rob Jordan, and Samir Rana. Commiserations to Samir Rana losing this game. A very, very tight game and very well played by Rob Jordan. Thank you from all of us. We will come back next week with the second and third one-dayers to finish out the one-day tournament before perhaps we move on to some other tournaments. And that's it from all of us.
Thanks.